With control over intense heat and fire, Ember is a fiery frame able to set ablaze any enemy and render them nothing more than a pile of soot and smoke. As always, before we go into anything, I need to give my disclaimer. Builds for frames and weapons in these videos will not work for everyone. Experiment with mod builds that best suit your playstyle. Also, the information in this video will be based on the current version of the game as of the making of this video, so if something seems outdated, it's most likely because it is. Okay, let's light it up. Did you know, similar to Ash, Ember was originally designed as male up until update 5.3 that changed Ember from male to female. The reason behind this change is currently unknown. Ember in terms of stats can be seen as a glass cannon. While having low armor, she makes up for it in a sizable energy pool and a good amount of health and shield. Ember's passive ability allows her to gain 5% extra energy for any enemies with an active heat status effect within a 50-meter radius. Bring the fire to your foes. Fireball launches a fiery projectile that inflicts pure heat damage on enemies on impact with a 100% status chance. Fireball can also cause a napalm effect upon landing on any surface and enemies in a 2-meter area around the target with a 50% status chance. While the AoE does affect the initial target, it does not increase the range but can also perform headshot kills. The heat status proc deals 50% of initial damage on the target per tick, and the AoE of the initial target can trigger a second heat proc for 50% of the damage area hit per tick. Additionally, Fireball can be charged before being launched, which doubles the initial damage and AoE in addition to increasing the range to 2.4 meters. Fireball can also be casted multiple times on the same target, allowing the procs and damage to stack on top of one another, along with activating a combo, which can increase with each successive Fireball with a maximum of 8 times, and resets the combo window. Fireball's Augment, Fireball Frenzy, allows for Ember to cast Fireball onto allies, temporarily granting them additional heat damage to all of their attacks. Who says fire can protect one from attacks? Immolation creates a fire vortex around Ember that burns stronger with each moment. While this is active, the temperature gradually rises. With each rise, Ember gains up to 40% damage reduction on first casting and scales up to 85% damage reduction at maximum heat. Casting again deactivates the ability and expends all stored heat instantly. Immolation's heat generation is affected by Ember's other abilities. Each cast of Fireball increases the rate of heat by 1% per second, while Fire Blast decreases the heat rate by 2% per second while also removing 50% heat. Inferno increases the heat rate generated by 3% per second. Immolation Radiance, the augment, allows for emulation to affect allies within range, reducing incoming damage. When you feel your foes are getting too close for comfort, Fire Blast summons a wave of pure flame that expands outward to a radius of 25 meters, dealing up to 200 heat damage with a 100% status chance on enemies who make contact with the ring while pushing them back. Enemies that are hit by the ring have their armor reduced by 50% to 100%. The armor reduction affects enemies' current armor and can stack with multiple casts. Fire Blast's Augment, Healing Flame, allows Fire Blast to heal Ember for each enemy hit by Fire Blast. For when you just want to see the world burn, Inferno summons fiery meteors that descend from above and crashes onto all seen enemies within up to 25 meters. Enemies hit receive up to 2,500 heat and impact damage, becoming surrounded by a small ring of fire up to 15 seconds, while dealing up to 350 to 700 heat damage per second. Enemies who come into contact with ignited enemies are also set on fire with inflicted heat damage and procs. Multiple casts of Inferno can stack on the enemies and targets all on-screen enemies within range, even if they are only partially visible. Exothermic, Inferno's augment, allows enemies affected by Inferno a chance to drop energy orbs upon death. Modding Ember can be in many ways for her. Flow or Prime Flow can further increase her energy pool. Strength mods such as Intensify and Blind Range can increase the damage dealt by all of Ember's abilities. Duration mods such as Continuity and Constitution can increase the duration of Fireball's AoE and Inferno's ring duration. Range mods such as Stretch and Overextended can increase the range of Fireball, Fire Blast, and Inferno. As for my build, it goes as follows: Energy Siphon for the aura, Quick Thinking as a failsafe, Prime Flow to increase the energy pool, Prime Continuity and Constitution to increase duration of abilities, Intensify to increase ability damage output, Cunning Drift to increase range of abilities, and Streamline to decrease the energy cost of abilities. Here are ways to use Ember in combat. Start off with Immolation. A combination of Fireball and Inferno can take care of enemies in front of you, and Fire Blast can get enemies off your back if they get too close. And with that, we conclude our look at Ember. Next, we'll be taking a look at Loki, so if you tend to have anything for that, leave a comment below and I might feature it in the next one. Just remember, Ember can set the world ablaze for anyone with an affinity of fire. Until then, stay true, Tenno.